Alrighty folks, thanks for clicking on today's video. James Cards FC here, and today I'm going to be doing something else that's a little bit new. I'm going to be talking about the auctions that I lost in the month of July of 2023. So I went back through my bidding history, I saw the losses I took. I'm sad about some, but glad I avoided a few others. But in any case, I'm going to be talking about the auctions I lost, why I lost them, what my thinking was in my bidding, and hopefully give you guys some insight into what I think when I'm making some decisions in bidding in the market. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with the auctions I lost. I'll go from low end to mid end to high end, and I'll talk about my thinking with a few different cards. This video will not take all the cards that I lost over this past month because it would take way too long, but this is just a select few that I thought I could give some insight into. So we'll go ahead and start with some low-end losses under $25. So I'm not going to say the full price because if the people that won them don't want to share the full price, I won't go ahead and do that, but I'll go ahead and talk about these loosely. On the left-hand side, you have the 2021 Stadium Club Mohamed Kudus auto, numbered out of 75. Why I wanted that card, Kudus is in some under-the-radar transfer rumors for some big clubs. He's been talked about for Arsenal and a few other Premier League sides, but it's also possible he doesn't get a transfer, but he is in sort of an under-the-radar situation, and maybe he does end up getting one of those transfers, and that could spike his values, especially considering in the second point, he does not have very many cards in general, and especially in PSA slabs, he doesn't have a lot of cards. And when I'm going to the market to buy cards, 99% of the time, I'm going after raw cards to try and get in on the grading opportunity that is out there if you grade raw cards and try and get them into slabs and create value that way. So that's what I'm really looking to do here, and I think Kudus was a good example of that in this case. But I didn't end up winning this one. I didn't end up winning it because I didn't bid high enough, obviously. And why I didn't bid higher was because I think there's very limited comps on Kudus's numbered autos like these, and his base only sell in the $5 to $10 range. So even if you get this one slabbed, is it really going to go for that much money? I'm not sure because there's just not a lot of info on Kudus prices right now. And it's somewhat risky to grade because if he doesn't end up getting a move, you could be stuck, or in my case, I would be stuck taking a loss on it because I wouldn't be able to move it probably for the grading fee, especially if I got a PSA 9 on it. So just a risky play there, but one that I think has some good upside. I just didn't want to take the plunge on it, even at the low end. Then on the right-hand side of the screen, we have the 2022 Topps Chrome Desiree Douillet Blue Refractor out of 150. Why I wanted this card, it's a true color rookie from the most mainstream set in the market, which is Topps Chrome. And I like Douillet as a talent, and I think he's eventually going to get a transfer to a bigger club. And I was hoping that his prices out of the gate wouldn't be as expensive, considering he's not an obvious attacking player to go after. But his prices actually are a lot higher than what I expected them to be on certain parallels. So why I didn't bid higher personally, I don't want to chase cards that just came out, so I'll go ahead and wait until this gets into a price range I'm more comfortable in. And I would probably have to sit on Douillet cards for a while because he's likely not getting a move anytime soon. He's a guy that is only 18 years old, so he's probably not going to get a transfer until next year at the earliest. So that's a long-term hold in my strategy when you really want to be moving cards. So despite the fact that I personally like the player, it's probably not the best buy for my situation. Then we'll move into some more low-end losses. These are under the $50 range, so a little bit higher up the chain. We have this 2020 Topps Chrome Sapphire Vinny Jr. out of 75. Of everything I talked about on today's list, this is the one I regret not getting the most. Why I wanted it, it's from a super sought-after set. It's a really nice-looking card, and I think that Vinny Jr. is going to be one of the best players and most talked-about players this season for Real Madrid, unless Mbappe ends up going there and he can steal some of the spotlight. I just think there's a lot of goals out there to be scored by guys like Vinny Jr. for Madrid. I've talked about this in previous videos, but there's a lot of goals out there that need to be scored this season by Madrid now that Benzema is gone, and I think Vinny can pick up the slack there. Why I didn't bid higher on this, the 2020 Chrome set has bad quality control issues, which include chipping on the back edges, as well as surface issues, so that makes them hard to grade. So for a raw to grade like I'm looking at here, there's a potential that this card ends up being more like a PSA 8 than it ends up being a PSA 10. But at the end of the day, I only lost this card by $1, and I really wish I could have this one back because I think this is a really cool looking card for Vinny Jr., and I think it would be really cool in a PSA slab, and I think he's going to have a great season. So like I said, of all the things on this list that I'll be going through, this is the one that I feel like I've missed the most. Then on the right-hand side, we have this 2022 Prism World Cup Serginho Dest Elephant Prism, which is a super short print on the set. I think there's around 15 of these printed per animal, and elephant is one of the animals, and so this is a very short print parallel for Serginho Dest. Why I wanted it: it's a super short print card of a key United States men's national team player, and it's a key set with a lot of demand in the market. If there's short prints from the World Cup Prism set, you can probably generate a lot of watchers on your items, and there's probably a lot of people that are in the market for those sorts of cards. Why I didn't bid higher on this card was because that 2022 World Cup Prism has many bad quality control issues, including centering, chipping, surface scratching. 2022 Prism is one of the hardest sets to grade in my opinion, and so for that reason I don't really like targeting the set for raw to grade. And another reason would be that Dest is far down on the list of United States men's national team players, and he could be hard to sell. I should have realized this before because I went on a bit of a weird random buying spree of Sergiño Dest cards. I picked up 3 or 4 of his super low-end autos, and now I have no idea what I'm going to end up doing with them because I don't think it's actually going to be worth it to grade. So maybe I'll end up with a small Dest PC on the side, but in terms of raw to grade, I didn't think this was the best option for me at the time. Then we'll move into the mid-end. These are losses for cards that are in the $100 to $250 range. I'll go through 2 of them. On the left, we have the 2019 Chrome Sapphire Kylian Mbappe Yellow Refractor, numbered out of a 99. Why I wanted this: it's the first Sapphire set of a super key player. Kylian Mbappe, obviously super key. First Sapphire set doesn't get a lot of errors on the market, but it's one that I personally like and I've talked about a bit. And I don't have any Sapphires yet, so this would have been my first one. So there were some reasons, in my opinion, why I wanted it. It's also an early numbered card for Mbappe, and his prices are maybe on a dip right now, so I felt like maybe I could get this on a significant dip in terms of what they used to sell for. But that ended up not being the case. I didn't bid higher because this is something I would want to crack into a PSA slab, and the 9 surface grade scared me. In terms of the BGS, you get the subgrades, and a 9 surface grade usually means that there's something noticeably wrong with the surface, and if there's something noticeably wrong with the surface, I don't really want to send it to PSA and end up getting a PSA 9 rather than a PSA 10 and taking a loss that way. And then I also don't usually buy graded cards because you don't get the sort of margins you get if you do raw to grade, so I just didn't go ahead and pull the trigger on this one because I didn't think I could cross it to a PSA 10, and it didn't end up going in a price that I thought was a heavy enough discount based off the last comps for this card. Then on the right, we have this Joao Pedro Orange Prism rookie, numbered out of 25. Why I wanted it: I think Joao Pedro has a great opportunity with Brighton. They have a lot of attacking options, but in the preseason, he looked very strong, and it's possible that he ends up being one of their starters on the front line, and they'll be playing a lot of very mainstream, very watched football over this next season in Europe. So I think there's some sort of an opportunity for Joao Pedro to get hot in the market. He also has very few cards and sets for his rookie season. I think he's only in Prism and Mosaic. There's probably a few other odds and ends sort of things, but he's not in a million different sets, and so that's something I obviously like to look for. Why I didn't bid higher: from grading Florin Balogun rookie cards, I know that this set is very tough to grade. It's the 2021 Prism Premier League set. Centering can be tough, although the centering on this one looks fine. Edges can be tough. The back corners on the bottom can both be really tough. So yeah, there's just a lot of QC issues that you could have with this set if you're looking to raw to grade. And if I were to end up winning this card, I would have had to pay the highest price ever paid for this Orange Refractor out of 25. And I don't like being the one that's buying things and paying all-time high prices for something. Even if it's something I believe in, I don't want to be the person setting the all-time high price. So I ended up not winning this one. Then we'll get into the high-end losses, 2 of these in the $500 plus range. On the left-hand side, we have the 2020 BVB Chrome Jude Bellingham rookie auto. This is from Jude's only on-card rookie autograph set. He is in literally every set under the sun, but in terms of on-card autos, he's only in this one set, and I think there's less than 100 total of all the parallels put together, so it's very hard to get a Jude rookie on-card auto, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to possibly grade it and then flip it to start the season because he's playing for one of the most mainstream clubs, and so there's going to be a lot of attention on him and his cards, so this is something that I would just grade and immediately flip onto the market really, really quickly, and I thought that was a good opportunity there to do something like that, but I didn't end up winning it. I didn't bid higher because I think this is a very difficult set to grade because of quality control issues. I think the most common grade for this set is either a PSA 7 or a PSA 8, if that gives you an idea of how hard these are to grade. The surfaces are usually really scratched up and scuffed. There's usually dents or imperfections or chipping. The corners and edges are very tough because it's black on the back of the card, so it's very obvious to see flaws. There's just a lot of quality control issues there, so raw to grade can be tough to try and get high grades on. And it also sold too close to the comps from a few months ago that I was seeing, and I know the market has taken about a 20 to 30% dip for most players over the past few months, so if somebody was willing to pay what the last comp was from a few months ago, I was going to let them have it, and they ended up doing that, so I didn't end up winning this card for the price that I was hoping to win it for. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, we have the 2021 Panini Prism Fuller & Balogun Green Breakaway Rookie numbered out of 5. I wanted this because it's a super short print, super low-numbered Balogun rookie card, and he doesn't have a lot of those. And the photos looked very clean for grading from a hard set to grade, but this card in particular, the centering looked good, the surface looked good from what I could see, and the back corners that I usually look for were in great condition. So I thought this could grade really high, but I actually didn't end up winning this despite the fact that I put in what I thought was a very sizable bid. And why I didn't bid higher on this was because the breakaway out of 5 is not as highly rated as many other parallels. So for example, I think the gold, true gold out of 10 would sell for more. Even probably the breakaway gold out of 10 would sell for more. Some of the super short prints like Tiger and things of that nature would probably sell for more. There's just a lot of other parallels that are low numbered that I think would sell higher than the breakaway out of 5. So I didn't want to pay a price of a gold for the price of a breakaway out of 5. I've also bought my fair share of Balogun cards, and I'm trying to avoid paying all-time high prices at what feels like a short-time peak for him. I think there was some opportunity to still buy his cards raw and then grade them because he didn't have a lot of slabs, but they are very hard to grade, and I don't really want to be paying all-time high prices for them, so I'm still kind of looking at his market for raw to grade opportunities, but I don't think there's that many of them left out there because everybody's sort of already looking to do that and are paying very, very high premiums for these cards at this point. And in conclusion today, I bid on a lot of items from a lot of different price ranges, and I win maybe 10% of the time, maybe even less than that, and I only overpay when I'm being emotional or if I'm 100% sure on the math that I've done in my head. If the math I've done in my head doesn't make sense to me in terms of raw to grade opportunity or in terms of I want this for my PC, then I don't chase the card any higher than what my predetermined bid was going to be. But as always, the conclusion is going to be buy what you like, spend what you want to spend, and enjoy the hobby how you like. If you want to PC things, if you want to raw to grade, if you want to flip, however you want to interact with the market, as long as you're not trying to scam and being a good hobby participant, I'm all for it, and everybody is going to be welcome here and in this community. So with that all out of the way, I thank you guys so much for watching. One question that might come up is, James, you always talk about pre-modern and how you like that as your favorite market, but you didn't list any pre-modern cards. That's because I think in raw to grade, the best opportunity is in the ultra-modern side of the market where the majority of the buyers are, and there's just a lot of attention on that side of the market, so I prefer to raw to grade in that market, but in terms of buying things from on my PC, I shift back to the pre-modern. So using ultra-modern to fund pre-modern would be how I guess I talk about my methodology. But with that all the way, I thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave comments down below if this was something that was helpful to you. I'll have a video out probably in the next few days of the things I did end up buying, and we'll be sending to grading or consignment or whatever direction I end up sending them, so be on the lookout for that. Links in the description, as always, to different resources in the hobby, as well as the Discord group. It's free. Feel free to join it. And that'll do it for today. Have a good one.